Welcome to Chef's Day Off. My name is Marcus. I'm half of the Marcus and Corey Morning Show on Star 1013 in San Francisco, one of the greatest places to eat, one of the greatest cities for culinary extravaganzas. I'm here with my dear friend, Chef Matthew Dolan from 25 Lusk. Sir, what is your pedigree?
Oh, stop. Day one and you're already at it. Hi, Matthew Dolan. I'm the executive chef, one of the partners here at 25 Lusk here in San Francisco. I'm also, I agree with you, greatest food city, and I'm just excited that you brought me on board for
He's
this.
going to leave out the part where he was on the Food Network on Beat Bobby Flay.
We don't want to talk about that.
He's going to leave out the part that he is an envoy for the Department of the State Department, culinarily speaking. Did I get even close?
Yes. I'm sorry about your tax dollars, but that is true. That happened.
And the reason that this podcast started is because I do come to 25 Lusk about every 6 weeks. I consider it kind of like a man cave. And if you come to the restaurant, you're going to see it's lovely. There's exposed brick, there's exposed beam. Chef is an artist in the kitchen, but then also puts so much thought into what he does. And I come in on Chef's Day Off, and we sit and we drink and we talk about the world and everything. But then it gets drilled down to, I'm in the kitchen, chef, and I have a problem. Can you help me?
So I thought you just came here to ask for advice.
No, so I thought, why not make a podcast out of it, and why not distill it all the way down for episode number 1 to the simplest yet most complex food to cook, in my opinion, because I've screwed it up so many times. We're going to talk about rice. That's what we're going to do today, right now. How to make perfect rice. And we've got our methods. We have a few to talk about. But the one I really want to hit on is the one that you've been seeing popping on TikTok and Instagram. And that is what I call the pasta method. And there are so many people that are just like, oh my God, you don't have to measure water. Forget the finger method. All you have to do is put rice in water. Doesn't matter how much. And you're going to be fine. Right? You cook it like pasta. That's why I call it the pasta method. Does this actually work?
It works. It works. And I agree with the haters.
You're going to get a lot of haters.
No, but I agree with them in the sense that there's a much sounder way to cook it. The rice cooker itself.
Right. The finger method, right?
I just learned about the finger method.
You put whatever rice in your rice cooker, and then you fill up the water to your first knuckle. And that has been tried and true for as long as the rice cooker's been around, maybe longer.
Well, I mean, it's similar to the fact that you don't just use as much water as you want.
Right.
I mean, the French method we learned in culinary school requires a specific amount of liquid and then time, and it takes longer.
Like a certain ratio.
Yeah, ratio, and then but it takes time, and then but you're dealing with a delicate starch, and
Stop
you're doing
right there.
so. Okay.
Stop right there. What is the ratio for the French method?
The 3-to-1 is what they say. So it's 3 parts stock, but it requires a method that takes almost an hour to get to rice. And so in a rice cooker, which you see more often around the world, that is a very, very exacting and specific way to get a great product.
It's got one job.
That's all it does.
It's to make rice.
So your pasta method.
Let's get right into it.
So here I am in the middle of service one day, and I overlooked a specific reservation that asked for steamed rice. I happen to have boiling water. I had rice, and I was like, oh man, I don't have 30 minutes or 15 minutes even. What do I do? So I grabbed some rice. I rinsed it, some basmati rice. I rinsed it.
Okay.
I popped it in this boiling water with a little bit of salt.
With no regard to how much water you're dealing with, how much rice you're dealing with.
I was on the run and fighting the clock.
You were free balling.
Things were not
you
going
raw dogged your rice.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ. So I stood there and I tasted it, and finally the rice became very tender. I strained it out. I gave it a quick rinse.
How long does this take?
That took like 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes.
But regular rice takes 20 minutes.
But when you rinse the rice and you get some of that exterior starch off, you go to the boiling water, then you rinse it. But here's the thing. Then I had to toss in oil. Then I'm kind of wondering, I'm questioning my ethics here, because I wouldn't elect to cook rice that way. It's an emergency method. Now I know it's easy, and we've been evolving in a society where we're finding, making things a little bit simpler is the way we go.
Sure.
But rice can be kind of like a sponge,
Okay.
So it's a good method. The rice cooker's great. This finger method does remind me of that, but that way when it's on a stove, and now I don't know, do you start it the way the French do in cold liquid, or
do you?
You
which
do.
one?
Okay, Terry's nodding away over there. Yeah.
Okay, our cameraman Terry, he knows.
Terry's keeping it. Our boss. Let's just
our boss,
yes.
our babysitter.
That's right. The voice of reason is telling us that, yes, that's the way.
Okay.
And so you start it cold and you bring it up to a simmer. It makes so much sense. It's a very gentle and delicate way. And the slower and the more gentle, that's my philosophy of cooking, is take it slowly and be gentle and watch the thing. Don't just jam it into hot water and then throw it into a thing and call it a day, unless it's an emergency. Now, this thing you're talking about, that's this phenomenon on
stop. You're talking way too fast.
I can't help it.
Let's recap on the pasta method.
Yes.
You have a pot of boiling water. You throw in it, you eyeball as much rice as you want into this pot of boiling water. The ratio doesn't matter.
Oh, really?
You cook it till it's done. Taste as you go. Maybe it takes 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Now, my rice is cooked all the way through. What do I do now?
Once it's cooked, you want to strain all that water off as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And I didn't write this recipe, but I stumbled upon the fact that I had a ton of water. So I think that was to my benefit in a sense where more water, more starch bleeds out. It doesn't tend to stick together. So I strained it out. I rinsed it
into
with,
a colander.
Into a strainer of some mesh strainer if you have one, colander. And then I rinsed it with cold water. And I'm thinking, well, man, this is going to stick together because I had to run and do something else.
Or it's going to be too damp.
Or
too moist.
So I drizzled a little bit of just cooking oil on it, and I tossed it around so the grains of rice wouldn't stick to each other.
Neutral cooking oil, olive oil, doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, just something. You're on the go. Butter would be fine too. And then I went back to it, and it was room temperature, kind of cold. And I thought, well, I could see it was still draining liquid, so I let the liquid drain. I let it steam off.
What happens if you press it?
You're gonna make mush. Don't press it.
Don't press it.
No, gently mix it to get some of that water.
Okay.
You want to see it steam away, and you want to see when you see the water
Agitate it.
Agitate it. Yes. When you see the water's done dripping out of the strainer and the steam is not there, you probably got rid of a lot of the water. But the beauty of the rice cooker is that it steams and the rice takes what it needs. It doesn't get soaked. It doesn't get waterlogged. So that's why the pasta method. A lot of people don't like it because
emergency only.
It's an emergency method. Yeah. And if people like to do it that way because they don't have enough time, go ahead, I mean, the haters are going to say, oh, don't you dare. If you don't have time, use it. If you do have time, take it. You'll get a better product doing it with the steamer or with your finger method. That's what I think.
All right. The other way to do it, frankly, if you have an Instant Pot, which I do and I use, it's 1-to-1 rice to liquid, whether it's chicken stock or water. You pop it in. The directions in the book will say 4. I do it for 3. It leaves it a little sticky. It's how my daughter likes it, and we make all manner of things with it. And then you just open it up, let it steam out, stir it around, you're good to go. So if you have an Instant Pot, pretty genius. Don't use the rice function. Just use the high pressure function. Simple.
I mean, I don't know from Instant Pot, but I gotta take your word for it.
Sorry, that's for us housewives.
For those of us that have lived for 3 decades in kitchens. No, I think it's great though. I mean, you don't have the same anyway.
What is your favorite way to repurpose old rice?
Okay, this is a good question.
Before we do that, though, can you talk about your fear of old rice?
Sure. So rice, because of its nature of holding so much moisture,
right,
it is a vehicle for potential foodborne illness.
We talking like botulism?
No, botulism is more like canned goods,
how bad is this going to be for me? Could I die?
The idea is if you don't wash your hands because you're gross, then you might do something wrong. Cooked rice is okay. I don't recommend then if you cook rice,
I
you do it
cooked a
properly.
bunch of rice.
Yeah.
I leave it on the stove. How long can I leave it on the stove?
If you cool it and cool it down, you have the 4-hour time and temperature window. So within 4 hours, as long as it's cold, you should be fine.
Otherwise, what happens?
Otherwise, the possibility of a foodborne illness, some bacteria can grow, and we're not going to get into the science of that.
Because it's moist.
Because of the moisture, the ambient temperature, and because of potentially your
I'm going to say
care.
moist a few more times.
Okay.
So, refrigerate within 4 hours.
No, make sure it's cold within 4 hours. So if you're rinsing it and you're stirring it, you could lay it out flat on a pan or a plate or something, and it gets cold real quick. Within 4 hours, if it's cold, you should be fine.
Good.
Now, the next day, you've got this used rice. You were just mentioning something about fried rice. Absolutely.
I love making fried rice.
I love fried rice.
And my fried rice got elevated when I discovered not only soy sauce, but also oyster sauce.
Ooh.
And then once I discovered Korean gochujang, which is the red chili paste. Why am I explaining things to you?
I don't know. I started thinking about something else.
You're a professional. Anyway, gochujang am I even pronouncing it right? It's a Korean red chili paste, and it just brightens everything, kind of like sriracha does. But the reason I like fried rice is you can throw anything in there. Anything. Literally, vegetables, proteins, doesn't matter.
But rice also, for example, proteins, let's say you have some leftover chicken that you didn't cook. Right? So you went to the store.
Chicken. You
have 6 chicken breasts and there's one left over. What are you going to do? You can cut it into little pieces. Well, you can put it in fried rice too. But the other thing you do, if you have a Cuisinart or a food processor, you could throw in your chicken, maybe some shrimp without
Cooked
the tails.
chicken?
No, raw. I prefer raw.
Okay.
And you could buzz it and maybe add a little bit of oil or water even. And then you can buzz that into kind of like a ground up meat thing, and then put the rice in there and let it all. But the rice is going to hold that protein together.
So the rice acts as a binder.
It's a binder.
And you're making
Exactly.
a sausage patty of rice and protein.
Exactly. It's one of the best ways to use rice to stick all that meat together,
like
and then
that.
put it in a bowl, season it, add your apples or your peppers or your onions, whatever you want, and then mix it around. Take a tiny little bit, cook it in a pan, taste it. If you want more salt, if you want some, let's say, some lemon or some whatever you want, herbs, add it in. Once you feel good about what you've got, now you have breakfast sausage. Fry some eggs, make some toast, and your rice just did right by you.
Another genius way to repurpose rice, besides either Chinese rice porridge, congee, which is very simple. We will have a video on how to make that if you follow Chef's Day Off Pod on Instagram.
I've never had it before, but I hear it's delicious. Does it have another name?
Bro. Congee, also known as juk.
Juk, that's how
And
I know
it's
it.
so simple. It's literally rice, chicken, maybe chicken stock, maybe water, ginger, and green onions. And you're done.
So also,
Other than that, it's technique.
there you go. I mean, that's another way to use it. And if you have I hate rice pudding, but I know most people love it. I mean, rice pudding. There's another place to put it. And
Horchata.
please don't or horchata, yeah.
Horchata, which is it's a Mexican drink with cinnamon. The other thing I love is Spam musubi, which is you open a can of Spam. Just hang out with me for a second.
Apologize to the culinary gods.
Slice it into about 7 pieces. You can fry that on both sides, a little bit of oil. You make a very simple teriyaki sauce. There's a great teriyaki, like a 3-ingredient teriyaki sauce online. You can either glaze your pieces with that and then cook it a little bit to get a little bit of a glaze on your meat. Or you have a mold, you lay down a little, like a quarter scoop of rice, or a third of a scoop of rice, create a rectangle in this mold, brush some teriyaki sauce on there, put your Spam piece on there cooked, more teriyaki sauce, and wrap it in seaweed. Oh, bro.
Sounds amazing.
A to-go, no, it doesn't.
Not really. That took so long to explain also.
A to-go snack for the ages. My kid loves it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, also, if you have enough of this leftover rice and you need to build a stone wall behind your house, you can do this because,
Fun fact.
the Great Wall of China is in ancient masonry. It's bound by rice.
Look it up.
Look it up because it's true.
See? Nothing but knowledge over here.
No. I stole it from Terry. No, but it's true. It's kind of amazing. The Great Wall of China, which can be seen from space, is held together all these years, centuries by rice. So if you don't want to eat it, build with it.
You didn't even know you
Don't
needed
ask us how to do that,
know this
though.
much about rice.
That's right.
We're going to demonstrate the quote pasta method of making rice.
The emergency method.
With a video. Again, please follow Chef's Day Off Pod on Instagram. Thank you for joining us for our first episode.
Thank you.
I'm Marcus. This is Matthew. And we adore you. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next week.